Welcome to another Raid Shadow Legends video. Hope you guys are having a fantastic day. I am currently on the test server, guys. In today's video, we're gonna have a look at the new Fusion champion. Is it worth getting the champion for your account? And because, personally, I think the champion is more kind of like progression-wise, we're gonna use her together with a partner as well in some of the clips in the video, just to basically see both of them at the same time rather than me doing two different videos individually. I just don't personally necessarily think that they are worth it to go and do two different videos on them. So, for whoever is not familiar, if by any chance you missed the announcement, Esme, the dancer, is the new Fusion Barbarian. She does look pretty awesome. I like the design on her. She looks badass. Now, overall, I don't think she's a bad champion. I'll be very honest with you, sorry. I just don't think she is for everyone. I don't think she is, at least for my account. If I'm gonna get her, I'm still not 100% sure. I'll just get her to collect the Pokemons. We have a speed aura for all battles, 19%, which is actually really nice. Massive overall, regardless where you are in the game. She does have decent stats, pretty good speed at 113. With the A1, attacks an enemy and places an increased attack buff on all allies for 1 turn. That's actually really, really nice. You're gonna get increased attack on all of your team, and you can do this either by counter-attacking, either by using an ally attack or anything like that, and bang, all of your team will have increased attack. So that's really nice. With the A2, AoE attack, and she will land a weaken and a block buffs debuff for 2 turns on a 3-turn cooldown. Very nice for the Hydra clan boss. Other than that, I don't necessarily think that it's going to be extremely impactful in other content, considering that you have Ugo on Epic Champion that brings defense down and block buffs. In my opinion, that's the better version of it. But hey, this is not a bad thing either. And to be honest, you can almost pair her with Ugo together, and like that, you're gonna ensure that no matter what affinity you have on, you're not going to weak hit, right? So that's actually a win-win. You're gonna get weakened, defense down, block buffs, without actually having to worry about weak hits and stuff. Also decreases the turn meter of all enemies by 20%. Now, this is nice on waves. So if you're looking to progress in dungeons, if you're looking to progress in the Doom Tower, etc., this can be pretty helpful. You can even build her on a stun set if you have that available. Now, if Modo of the PL is on the same team, steals the turn meter instead. With A3, an increased accuracy and an increased speed buff on all allies for 2 turns. This means that all of you guys that are progressing through the game will be able to build your champions with lesser stats in terms of speed and accuracy, and focus more on their survivability or damage, and still land the debuffs, still have enough speed to take turns. So this is actually pretty nice. I just wish this would have been on a 3-turn cooldown. Considering that it's not boosting the turn meter, is not that impressive. Then has a chance of removing all buffs from all enemies. Pretty nice as well, especially if you are in the Hydra clan boss and by any chance they will buff, or if you are looking once again at waves or early game in arena, if you're looking to strip some buffs from the enemies like shields or whatever else they might have. If Modo is on the same team, has a chance of stealing all buffs instead. And the passive, which is actually, I feel like the best thing in her kit, when hit has a 15% chance of randomly changing the attacker's critical hits to weak, normal, or strong hits. Now, if Modo is on the same team, this goes to 30% instead. Definitely not a bad thing. And it can be pretty helpful, once again, early game, mid game. The chance is pretty low to count on it in the end game and be like, I'm going to use this as an arena strat, or I'm going to use this as a strat versus a boss that hits really hard or anything like that, because you cannot count on it. Then you have the active effect. Whenever this champion is hit, increases the turn meter of the ally with the highest attack by 50 turns, and that has a 1-turn cooldown. Now, this is very nice to get more turn meter on your damage dealer, especially in content where you need him to take more turns, or once again, you can potentially build that champion slightly slower, and like this, it will gain enough turn meter to rotate and do damage. Let me show you quickly what build I have on her. We're gonna do a Hydra run just with her without Modo, guys, but I do want to try them together in other content as well. So, Esme, where are you hiding? My opinion, the best build for her, pretty standard, build her on a reflex set. If you don't have a reflex set and you might have a relentless, that can work for you as well, guys. Especially if you're early game or mid game progression wise. But I have her with a reflex, an impulse, I have a refresh accessory, a counter attack accessory, and I have, of course, a pinpoint accessory, which will give me the following total stats: 58k HP, 2.1k attack, 3.8k defense, 276 speed, 370 accuracy. I haven't used the blessing on her or a relic. I can give her a 5-star blessing, but I don't want to do that. Then we have the masteries right here: offense and support. War Master as tier 6. Make sure you're getting Master Hexer. Make sure you're getting lasting gifts, because both of them will benefit the champion. She buffs, she debuffs, right? So that's a win-win. Then that's pretty much all in terms of Esme the Dancer. I will show you basically what you could potentially do with her, but first let's check her partner. So if we're gonna go over to Modo. So Modo, guys, is a damage dealer. He's from the Ogrin tribes, Force Affinity. With A1, he has a chance to land defense down. With A2, he has a chance to stun AoE and places an extra hit on enemies under stun. If Esme is on the same team, will always place the extra hit and will ignore 20% of the target's defense. With A3, which sounds pretty interesting, AoE attack will ignore shield and will deal 75% more damage versus Stone Skin buffs. If this attack removes one or more Stone Skin buffs, grants this champion an extra turn. So we're gonna see how hard he actually hits. I actually gave him a 5-star blessing, Cracking Roots, which will further increase the damage dealt to Stone Skin. The passive: whenever this champion kills an enemy, places a stun debuff on the enemy with the highest star meter, which is once again really, really nice. If he's a reviver, bang, you get a stun on it and you won't allow to revive. Occurs once per skill. If Esme is on the same team, this champion's skills will ignore 50% of each enemy's resistance, which means that you don't necessarily need to have crazy high resistance on him. Also, if Esme is on the same team, places an intercept stack on this champion at the start of their turn. So the intercept buff will only be placed when Esme takes the first turn, just to make that clear. And we have an attack aura for all battles. Now I do have a pretty nasty build on him because I gave him the 5-star soul, which inflated the stats quite a bit. So we have, I don't know why I'm constantly clicking on that abbreviations. I think, weren't they the other way around or something like that? Because I'm constantly clicking on it. It's like muscle memory. 7.8k attack, 243 speed, full crit, 318 crit damage, 400 accuracy. Yes, nasty stats, but we're gonna see exactly if these nasty stats will make him actually do some work or not. Masteries, we have the following: Helm Smasher as tier 6, offense, support, because we're trying to gain a bit of more accuracy. And as a blessing, as I mentioned, we have Cracking Roots, which will increase the damage we inflict to Stone Skin by exactly 60%. So that should be a lot of damage to Stone Skin, right? Or at least we hope so. First, I want to quickly show you what damage he deals before we dive into other content. As I mentioned, I'm not going to do 2 different videos. So whoever might get him, at least at the moment, will most likely go for the fusion as well. So I'm going to use her speed aura instead. Now, we are going on stage 10 hard mode, okay? They have pretty tanky stats. Seer struggles sometimes to kill them if you don't have enough buffs and all that. So at the moment, I can just buff with her and do that. You see the intercept just landed on him. And this is the A3 skill. That should deal a lot of damage versus Stone Skin. So let's see what damage we're getting from here. The damage is okay-ish. It's not bad, considering that we are dropping a good chunk of HP on some of these champions. I would probably put his multipliers maybe at around 4 point a little bit. 4.2 maybe on that AoE skill, something like that. He's just not crazy. He doesn't have crazy multipliers, especially considering that he doesn't ignore defense with that skill. Now, if we're going to move on to the A1 and let's check her animation as well. This one looks very similar with Shuzan's, for example. And this one is... can't even place it. It's another barbarian that has something similar, but I can't really remember which one. His animation with the hammer looks pretty cool. I think looks very similar with Grush the Mangler. If we're going to go with the AoE, the second one. Now that hits pretty damn hard, I'll be honest with you guys. So we are going to ignore 20% of the target's defense when she's on the same team. So we're going to buff again so we don't deal too much damage. And check this out. This really deals good damage because it's a double hitter. You see? We actually one-shot almost all of them. And we have a stun on them as well, which is really, really nice. But this, of course, will require you to have both of the champions together. And most likely they will do a guaranteed for him, to be honest. I don't think it's worth going for unless you're a Kraken that collects the Pokemons. Either way, let's move on to Arena to check versus Stoneskin. So we're going to go versus Smiley's team right here. He does have a pretty powerful team. I'm going to take Warlord out. I'm going to bring in more Thermiter in here just to ensure that we are going first. Okay, so we have 1, 2, 3 Stoneskins, right? We have increased attack. We have increased accuracy too if we need it. We have increased speed. And now we can actually take a turn. Now pay attention, okay? I'm not expecting to break the Stoneskin on any of these champions because they're tanky. And to be honest, none of the champions really do. Now, if we are finding different teams with nukers on Stoneskin, that's a different story. But I'm still expecting to drop at least a 50% of that Stoneskin. No matter how tanky they are. If his damage is decent, he will drop at least 50%, okay? And as you guys can probably notice, we did hit reaction on Marichka. If you are looking at Sifi, we barely broke around 30% of the Stoneskin, which really makes that skill feel like weak sauce, okay? Now, what I'm going to try to do is actually try to find maybe somebody that might have that Stoneskin on a damage dealer. So saying that right here, let's hope so. Let's hope so. I'm still gonna keep Esme in the team. It will be very hard to run them together anyway. I'm supposed to bring in a... Okay, we have it on there. And we have it on Ramantu too, which is brilliant. That's what I wanted to see. Oh, but we removed... Bad call, Skratch. Bad call. You know what? We gotta back out of here. We gotta back out of here. And I'm not even going to bring her in the same team because... I'll rather bring in a lockout champion just to make sure that we're fine in case if they cut on us, but they shouldn't cut on us anyway. Okay, let's do that. Okay, finally. So, if we're not breaking the Stoneskin on any of these two champions, he really sucks with that skill. I'll be honest with you guys. Like, none of them are... Let's just say on Alice, he has high defense. So maybe we're not going to break it on him. But if we're not breaking it on Ramantu, I quit my job. Okay, we broke it. Nice. And we broke it on Alice. And we killed the other ones. Okay. So basically, that's what I would expect him to do. I would not expect him to break the Stoneskin on Marichka and Sifi, etc. Or on Taras. But I was expecting him to break it on this. And what's nice is that he's going to gain this extra turn. And now he can do this. Either kill them. Either place a stun if they survive, right? But once again, it will only work on damage dealers. It will not work on their support champions. And I was not expecting it to work on support champions, to be honest. Let's see if we can actually find more Stoneskin right here. We should find more Stoneskin in here. Most likely. Okay. Okay, only one champion in Stoneskin, though. That kind of sucks. I was expecting maybe Cernic to be on Stoneskin. Let's see how much we're breaking from Lady Noelle. Not even 50%, right? And as you guys can probably notice, we actually haven't one-shot any of the other two champions. So that means that they had gear. It's not like we were a weak affinity or anything like that. They just did not die. So... even with these crazy stats, we haven't one-shot an Armans or a Marius or a Sir Nicholas. Sir Nicholas has high HP, low defense. Marius has low HP, higher defense. Armans, high speed, high accuracy, very little survivability, and they both survived. So that still clearly tells me that he's his skill, his A3 is not great in terms of multipliers. Maybe he has lower multipliers than I initially thought. I wouldn't be surprised, actually. I wouldn't be surprised. Now, the A2, on the other hand, is much, much better, right? It definitely feels much, much better. Come on, Lady Noelle. Get out of here. Go to sleep. Go to sleep. Modo 335k damage. I want to run a couple of more combos in here with both of them. So let's go versus this team right here. The good thing is that he's getting the pinpoint from the passive. I like that. I don't really see them as very impactful for PvP, to be honest with you guys. Let me know what you think. Maybe you think that on your accounts, they will be like super, super amazing. So right now, I'm actually going to use the A2 instead. We have a chance to stun. We're not ignoring the shield or anything like that, but we have a double hit and we ignore 20% of the target's defense. Can we kill any of them? Okay, so we killed 2. And by the looks of it, we broke the stone skin on her as well with a double hit. So that skill that doesn't do more damage to stone skin, I know there are 2 hits, right? But we broke the stone skin on her. The skill that hits for 60% extra damage versus stone skin is not gonna do 30% damage on that stone skin. So it is a bit weird. Don't you guys think so? It is a bit weird, but hey. We can't really complain about it. We can't really complain about it. Bring me my Esme back and let's see this skill. Ignore shield. Okay, Narcissus survived, but because we killed the other enemy, we placed a stun on Narcissus for 2 turns because he had the highest turn meter. So as I was mentioning, that is a very, very nice touch, right? So now there isn't much that he can actually do, especially that he's left alone. We killed the other champions. So I'm kind of like in between with him, guys. I'm kind of like in between. I'm not necessarily feeling like, yeah, he's great. I'm not feeling like he's trash either, okay? So But you guys let me know what you think in the comments down below. I'm not going to do more arena because I kind of like pointed out what I wanted to basically show you guys. The next thing that I'm going to do is take you into a Hydra run. So basically, we're going to run this team. We have an ally attack to help us put that increased attack up on the team. We do have Mitrala that will give us more increased attack as well, but she's mainly there just for a cleanse and all that stuff. And as I was mentioning before, you can definitely consider in using Esme and Ugo together. You have weaken defense down and block buffs more often. You see, we got a weak hit right there on Spirit. If Ugo was in here, she was going to land it on Spirit, but maybe she was going to get a weak hit on Force, for example. So we can use an ally attack from Ferrokin the Fat. Get increased attack on all of the team. Beautiful. Now we can land defense down with Mishinaki. We can provoke with her. And we can put some hacks in there. Give me more increased defense and all that. We can slowly not touch the Head of Red. I was going to say let's kill the Head of Red, but we don't want to do that because it's going to buff. Increase speed, increase accuracy, which is going to be really helpful once again. We can land some poisons in here. Do that. And basically, that's what you can do with Esme. There isn't much to show you about it. It's a pretty simple skill set. But when she gets hit, she boosts the turn meter of the champion. Was it with the highest attack or the highest crit damage, right? One or the other. Either way, in this case right here is going to be Shamael most likely, because I don't have higher attack or higher crit damage on... Actually, I might have higher crit damage on Mishinaki. Either way, that can be very, very helpful progression-wise. When you're endgame, you don't want to gain a lot of turns on your damage dealers and all that, because you're basically wasting turns when the heads have the Serpent buff on and you're not dealing damage, etc. You guys know the drill by now with... all that stuff. Now what I'm going to do, I'm actually going to back out of the run and I'm going to let it go on a full Oro or insta battle actually. And let's see what are they going to do together. Right, so Esme is not really going to do a lot of damage or anything like that. Regroup, and I'm quickly going to check that passive once again. the thermometer of the ally with the highest attack by 50. So Shamael should have the highest attack in the team. And that is 5.4k attack. And Farakin has 4.6. Yeah, okay. So Shamael will have the highest. So let's go. Quick battle. We're going to do a couple of tries in here and see. Damn, this is going quick with the turns. 170 million. Definitely not bad. Shamael 33 million. Pretty decent. Let's do another one. Can we get more than that? 170, right? 196. Seems like we have ourselves a winner. Increased speed. The only thing that we don't have in this team is decreased speed, basically, right? But we have increased speed, increased accuracy. We have Mitrala that helps a bit with the clans and all that. So I think progression-wise, guys, once again, is worth getting if you need a champion like her. If you don't, most likely a lot of you guys will get her so they can actually get fragments for mod, right? Most likely, I'm very tempted to do that myself. Either way, as usual, guys, appreciate all of you guys watching. If you enjoyed the content, smash a like, subscribe, drop a comment, help with that YouTube algorithm, and I will catch you all in the next video. Peace.